Hello everyone, this is Commando Doggo. I hope you're doing well. In this video I'm going to be experimenting a little bit with automated turrets once again. It's been a long time since I've done any of these, but my passion for designing has been reignited because we have been having a lot of fun with sieges in the past few months. The community has been organising a siege once every 2 weeks or so, and it's just chaotic mayhem. You have holes in the station, big ship battles, capturing points on foot. It's just a lot of fun, a lot of mayhem, and of course, because you've got all these new aspects of PvP, you've also got a lot of new designs coming out. You've got new bomber ships, new battleships, new station defense ships, which I'm working on as well. So yeah, there's a lot of new designs to look forward to try out, and yeah, a lot to do. So this is my new automated turret platform. It's based off the old ones, but the only difference with this one is its motion detection, so it only detects movement, and we don't use any stacked moving parts with this one, so it's just one turntable for each direction, 360 movement, and the reason for that is I wanted it to be more resistant to player host swaps. So when you move away from your ship and it goes into that blobby state and you don't host your ship anymore, and someone else comes along and they take host of that ship and they load that ship, that usually breaks moving parts, and I'm just trying to experiment and try and reduce that by having less moving parts in total. And this also was a nightmare for YOLO. I really had to think back to my high school days and remember some maths, because yeah, I had to do some maths to try and get this right, to try and make it calculate the difference between a moving target and a still target. And I also got a small bit of help on the Starbase Discord just to shorten that YOLO a little bit so it's a bit more responsive. So yeah, there's some upsides and downsides to this turret. The upsides is it mostly works, it can detect moving targets, but the downsides is the platform that it's on has to be incredibly still. If that platform floats even very slightly, then it might accidentally start shooting the walls of a station. So that's kind of the main issue I've had at the moment. I've been doing a lot of testing. It's a bit delicate. I might see if there's a way to stick this on a factory hall. That way maybe it would be completely still. Yeah, still a lot of experimenting to be done. But so far I've done a couple of tests with some prototypes. But yeah, it's not quite ready. And another little project I've been working on is a stationary defense platform that you can spawn multiple of them near a station during a siege, and they just have 4 multi-crew turrets on each corner that anyone can pilot, and a automated turret in the center, although some of it's severely outdated and probably won't do any good. But I just wanted to test, would it work? Could I leave this alone and will it stay intact or will it break? Because unfortunately in Starbase, moving parts have a tendency to break if you leave it alone and you fly away, or you relog and someone else loads your ship. They tend to break moving parts. So without further ado, we did a bit of testing on both the live and the STU servers, and this is how it went.
Or Lambert, can you take the clockwise position of Uni?
Is there ammo anywhere?
4, 3,
There's no ammo.
2, 1. Siege starting right now.
What the hell? You
Ready or not?
Great start, my turrets are shooting me.
Lambert.
yeah, select assist defender.
So, the big turret platform didn't turn out so well. Whenever I left the ship too far away, or I re-logged into the game and I lost connection to the ship, all of a sudden a lot of the turrets and moving parts would snap off and spasm out of control. Some of them stayed intact, there were a few intact all the way to the end of the sieges, but they were pretty much useless anyway because you have so much space to cover and people are just better off flying their own ship than trying to work out one of these small turrets. So yeah, I would have to dedicate myself to station defense, stay in the station, stay in one area, host all the platforms, and I would have to give it some serious upgrades if I want them to be any use. So next up, we tested the motion sensor turrets to see if that was any good indoors.
Okay.
Was towing stuff yet?
Looks like they're all... Come on, are really all of them horribly wrecked?
Considering the amount of lag, this is not going to be a fair test for them at all.
I mean, if we did what we play fair, I have a few tricks up my sleeve. Let's not.
If you're not careful, yes, for whatever reason, you can sometimes end...
Okay.
Those points terrifying.
Okay, winding up.
So that concludes the tests of the auto turrets. The motion sensor turret, I only tried it once in a siege because they weren't ready and I rushed to try and get them finished, and they did have some major issues. Number one, they did still have problems with braking when swapping hosts with another player, and number two, they have an issue where they struggle to detect a moving target if the background is very complicated. So if it's a very simple background, like lots of flat plates, there's not much going on, then yeah, they're pretty safe, they won't shoot the wall, and they will target what's moving in front of them, like here. But if the background is very complicated, so say there's lots of holes, there's lots of objects, there's lots of edges, station props, then all of a sudden they lose track, they get a little bit confused, and they start shooting the station. So that's a bit of a problem, and here's exactly why that is. After scoping around trying to find the problem, I realized that the platform that the turrets are on are very slowly moving out of place, and this very small movement causes the rangefinder beams to scrape off target just slightly. And if it's very intricate targets with lots of edges and different distances, then that very slow movement is going to cause the rangefinders to detect different distances as it scrapes past the edges of those targets. So as a result, if I want this to work perfectly, I need to have a perfectly still platform. There are a couple of ways to achieve this. You can have an extremely heavy ship, but that's a waste of ores, and that does slow down the floating of the platform a little bit, but it's not perfect. And alternatively, I could maybe somehow put these turrets inside a factory hall on a station, because a station is completely still, it doesn't float, it's a stationary object. Aside from that, I think those are my only options if I want the motion turret to work perfectly. They can still work as they are now on a lighter platform, but they would have to be in very simple rooms with not many objects and not much going on, and I think that's the only way to get them to work. Anyway, it was a fun experiment. It was very difficult trying to build these, and it's not over yet. I will have another go at these, but I do want to try and work on some new ships, because my brain is fried from all the YOLO, and yeah, I do have some new projects I'm working on as well. So that's it, thanks for watching. If you want to watch the sieges, there were some streams done by Happy Trigger and others, and if you would just like to participate as an attacker, defender, or just a neutral that jumps in and shoots everybody just for the fun of it, feel free to do so. It's organised on the Discord, so you can see what time the events start. And you can also see it in the game in the event planner a couple of days leading up to it as well. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed.